Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold, and in this segment, we're going to highlight opportunities and solutions to help get you out of the rough and into success, both personally and professionally. In these tough economic times, I want to give you practical solutions to many of today's challenges. And I've got a special show today. I'm joined by Tera McHugh, and Tera McHugh is a success coach with women entrepreneurs. We call it the WE Group. And what we're doing together is we're hosting a show to bring the essence of these great women out in their businesses. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Fred.
So introduce us to the first guests.
So first we have Maile Gray. She's the rockin' cool hypnotherapist. She works with parents on parenting. She has a practice here in Santa Clarita Valley for the last 5 years. And we have Rhona Berens. She's an individual and relationship coach.
Well, welcome both to the show. Yeah, and I see here you're a certified individual and a relationship coach, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, good. Welcome, ladies, to the show. First question for you, Maile, is why Parent with a Purpose? Tell me about Parent with a Purpose.
What we want to do is teach our children the skills they need to be capable adults, and start now at every part of their growing up, age appropriate, so that they can go out in the world and really be who they're meant to be and what they're supposed to do.
What's really important about this is it's critical that we get coached on how to build that relationship with our children. The only coach maybe we had, which were great coaches, which are our parents, but we had maybe one singular way of learning how to do things. And I think that you just hit it on the head, didn't you?
Right. I offer a series of 5 classes to teach you techniques that you can build on, a foundation for each age group.
Love it, love it. Let's talk about, Rhona, about relationship satisfaction.
Yeah.
Tell me about the essence of that.
Well, again, with parents, it's interesting. When Maile was just talking about, how to teach kids how to become responsible adults, one of the ways in which we can teach kids how to become responsible adults is by modeling really great relationships. So if we as parents are in satisfying relationships, it enhances our own personal satisfaction. It enhances child development and adjustment. It enhances our relationship with our kids, and it models for them what good relationships look like, because as you said, our teachers are our own parents.
Yeah. And by the way, we have great teachers in the Santa Clarita Valley. I love what they do for our children. But when you talk about modeling, I think that's important. With 4 children, I know you have young children. They see everything we do. They see the way we drive. They see the way we communicate. They see if we get upset. They see, maybe it's not necessarily all bad, but they see everything we do. And are we continuously modeling? And we talked about this earlier, communication. Let's talk about communication.
Yeah, communication with our children is crucial. Even teenagers, and they look away and they roll their eyes, they hear what you're saying. So to keep an open dialogue is really crucial, and turning things off and I caught myself just with my grandkids looking at my iPhone, asking questions, open-ended questions. What if? How would you do that? What's going on? To really engage with your children and turn things off.
I love that. Disconnect. We try to do that on vacation. The BlackBerry goes away. But also their little games go away too, because they get tremendously distracted. And I like what you just said, asking questions.
Open-ended questions.
Yeah.
Not a yes and no. Instead of how was school? So what was the best thing that happened at school? Things like that.
Yeah, great. Rhona, let's talk about staying connected or reconnect, and in some cases, reconnecting with your child.
Absolutely. Well, actually, my specialty is reconnecting with your spouse.
Which again, that might help.
Which again,
if you start off good there, then that's great modeling.
It's great modeling, and also studies show that the more connected we are to our spouses, the more connected we are to our children, the better our relationships with our children. So it really is a kind of one-to-one relationship, so to speak. So staying connected or reconnecting with our spouse, there are lots of ways to do it. A great technique is what Maile just said, open-ended questions. So one of my favorite questions to ask a spouse, especially if we're kind of disagreeing, is what's important to you about that? The other part that's important about that question is to actually really listen with curiosity and to listen without judgment, which are both sometimes difficult in relationships. But again, think about it. If we can model that with each other, especially if we're disagreeing, that's what our kids are learning. They're learning how to be respectful in disagreement. They're learning how to get curious about differences, and they're learning how to not judge differences.
I like not judging differences because everyone's going to have a different opinion. Sticking on that same lines, a lot of times when the kids they're always impressionable. but when they become teenagers, a relationship is 15 to 20 years deep, and sometimes you lose that romance. But what were the things you did as a young husband or young wife to really get that spark out, and can you bring it back out 15 years into the marriage? And I think that's really important, dating your wife and doing all those different things. Let's talk about getting started with Parent with a Purpose. How can those reach you and kind of get involved? I believe you have classes that you conduct, and tell us more about Parenting with a Purpose.
Well, you can go to the website, parentwithpurpose.com. And while you're there, give me your email address and you get a free 10-minute MP3 download for guided imagery. Because what makes this class different, is at the end of every class, we do guided imagery to really reinforce and strengthen these new techniques that you've learned, because these small changes make a big difference in your life. So parentwithpurpose.com
is where they get more information.
Is where you can get more
information. And
information.
Rhona, let's talk about, give me one step that you could take moving forward to really help build that relationship right now with your children and with your spouse.
Well, interestingly, it's a variation on the question that Maile said of what to ask your kid at the end of the day, which is asking your spouse, what was your favorite part of your day? I think it's exactly the same question.
What was your favorite part of your day?
What was your favorite part of your day? And really listen. It's a two-part thing. Ask the question and then really listen. Because sometimes we'll ask without listening, right?
And you can get into comparing about the worst part of your day and complaining. So it's great to just to get into more positive conversation.
Yeah, Tara, you make a great point, and that is you're bringing something positive out for the end of the day, and sometimes that's the last remaining thought before you tuck your children in for bed.
Yeah.
And I think that is...
Or your spouse.
Yeah.
Tucking your spouse in.
Exactly.
Exactly. So how do you stay positive?
Yeah, one of the things I asked, was there anything in school that you didn't quite understand? I help explain.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, is there anything...
I say call your tutor.
Yeah. And then when they tell me, I'll say, honey, come on down. Again, please share this, Rhona, how those that are watching or listening to this on the internet can get a hold of you.
Well, they can go to www.parentalliance.com, and there I offer free relationship tips and advice in articles and short relationship tips. And they can sign up for the blog, and they'll get a free 5 quick tips to connect flyer as a thank you.
And I love blogs, great information, great tips. Maile, your website one more time.
parentwithpurpose.com.
Perfect. Well, welcome to the inaugural show of We Women Entrepreneurs. Tara, thank you very much. We're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back.